So I'm not sure that I've adhered to the ideal final week preparation for a 100-mile sportive, the Prudential Ride 100. This week it consisted of a couple of rides to work, loads of fat carveries in the week, not a particularly good diet regime, including a 12-inch foot-long Subway. And tonight I've culminated with going out for a meal with the family and having a big fat steak with all the trimmings and a bottle of wine, the best part of a bottle of wine. Okay, good morning. So it's just gone 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. Just about to have a breakfast of champions before I head down to London. And yeah, feeling pretty good. Need to pack the car, get everything sorted, and then head down. I'm just about to load the car up. And before doing so, I thought I would just run through a few quick checks. Normally I'd go through a lot more checks than I'm about to go through, but this bike here has only done about 190 miles so far, and really it should be in pretty good shape. So I'm just going to go through a few absolute basics to check it's okay before taking it down to London. Once I've done those, we'll get the bike loaded in the car and then we are ready to go. So I'm now in the car en route to Brentford, West London. The plan is that I shall drive to Brentford. It's about 2 hours or so it's going to take me. Park up. I've got some secure parking in Brentford that I'm going to use, and then ride the 9 miles or so into central London, Tower Bridge, where I've got the world's smallest hotel room. I'm a bit nervous about that room, I've got to be honest. I originally booked a room nearer to the start line, but being a little bit absent-minded, I booked it for the wrong night. I booked it for Sunday night rather than Saturday night. So when I got the confirmation through, I saw, or rather my wife saw, the error of my ways and said, "Oh, is your ride on Monday then?" And I said, no, it's on Sunday. She said, "Well, you're staying on Sunday night." So yeah, I phoned up Premier Inn, which was near to the start line, and tried to rebook it for the previous night, and it was just a no-go, as you can probably expect with the Prudential Ride 100 being on. It was absolutely chock-a-block. So the nearest place I could get was this Premier Inn hub at Tower Bridge, which looks very, very nice in terms of how sleek and clean it looks. The issue is, with that sleekness and cleanliness comes compactness beyond belief. I mean, I'm sure I'll do some video from it later, but it just looks like the smallest hotel room in the world, like a little shoebox or something. So it'll be interesting to see how I get on there. So the plan is, anyway, down to Brentford, park up the car, jump on the bike, ride the 9-10 miles or so to Tower Bridge, check into the hotel, shoehorn the bike into the room, and then jump across town, finishing on the DLR to XL, where the cycle show is. And once I've finished at the cycle show, got my registration documents, my starter pack, my bag, I will probably head back to the hotel, drop that stuff off, venture out, get myself something to eat, and then get an early night. Because I think the hotel itself is about a 30-minute, 40-minute ride from the start line. So I'm here outside the car park in Brentford. I've just parked up, got my kit on and got the bike out, given it a quick lube, check over. I'm about to do the ride in from Brentford to central London, and everything's good. The rain seems to have eased off a bit, so I'm hoping this is going to be a bit of a window, a bit of respite, and therefore it won't be too bad. But let's see. So I'm going to hop on the bike now and make my way into central London. I'm here at the Premier Inn hub, Tower Bridge. Just made it. It's about a 15-mile ride actually, it turned out, from Brentford. Compact and Bijou is the name of the room. Maybe not room for much else, but certainly enough room for the bike. I'm just about to go and register at the cycle show. It took me a while to get here because I managed to get caught up in the Free Cycle London thing, which took me on a bit of a detour, but no great avail. And yeah, I'm here, so time to get changed, jump into some civvies and leg it over to the cycle show to register. I'm here in my tiny little Premier Inn hub. Just about manages to fit the bike in. I've got a gate start time that's rudely early tomorrow morning, I'm afraid, but very much looking forward to it. It's been a real carnival cycling atmosphere here in London. It was mad. It was just, there were people playing instruments all over the place. There were kids cycling, adults cycling, people on crazy bikes. Lots of people not with helmets on, which was a bit of a concern, but other than that, it was good. But tomorrow should be a different kettle of fish, obviously a lot more serious, and very much looking forward to it. So I'm going to get some food now, and I'll give you an update tomorrow.
So it's 4:20 and the alarm's just gone off. I'm just going to spring out of bed and get everything sorted.
Good.
So overall, I'd say that was a pretty successful Prudential Ride 100. The weather could have been better. It absolutely bucketed down overnight, and whilst it only rained for a short period during the ride, there was so much standing water in some places out towards Surrey that it was a nightmare. So the bike's filthy, and I'm going to have to give it a wash because even though I'm sure it's fine, I've got a little bit of Canyon Aeroad OCD, and it will need a clean, even though I've got weary legs and things. So in terms of my wash up of the event then, well, let's just have a bit of a run through. So very well organised, it's got to be said. I mean, bear in mind they've got 25,000 people or so doing that event. The start gate was a lot slicker than the start gate at the Tour of Cambridgeshire, which has less than half of the number of entrants. Yeah, I was waiting around for about half an hour, and then the gate moved only a short distance to the start line, and we went off exactly on time, 6:12. So I've got to say that was really well organised. Big thumbs up. The route was good. It was surprisingly flat for a lot of the way. There was Leith Hill and Box Hill. There were climbs, but they weren't the most testing climbs ever. The Cyclist for Cancer Sportive that I did in Stratford earlier in the year was a lot more testing than that. The bike itself, well, that's the longest ride I've done on the Canyon. It came in at 99.4 miles according to Strava, although it did struggle with the tunnel. We went under a tunnel, and I had an average speed of 21.9 over 99.4 miles. So I'm really pleased with that. I think that's pretty good for a first attempt. My moving time was 4 hours 31 minutes. My total elapsed time was about 4 hours 35. I had a bit of a a minor mechanical, which has happened twice now on this canyon. It's a bit of a weakness of these seat posts, and what's happened is that the seat post dropped while I was riding, going over bumps, and it dropped and dropped until it got to a point where I was like a little kid riding with my knees sticking out because the saddle has actually dropped. So I think it's a bit of a weakness of that design, the Aero seat clamp. I've never had that happen on the Boardman. So I guess to answer a couple of questions that have been cropping up about comfort, was it comfortable? Actually, it was fine. The only thing that wasn't comfortable was the saddle, and it's a physique saddle, and it's obviously just my physiology doesn't agree with physique saddles, because there was one came on the Boardman, there's one on this, and after about, well, as little as about 20 miles, my bum was a bit sore, and I think I'm going to have to swap it out with my normal, yeah, you guessed it, a charged spoon. So that's one of my projects to do, is to buy a black charged spoon, black with red detailing if I can, to match the frame. In fairness, the saddle discomfort was alleviated quite quickly and easily by getting off and allowing the blood to circulate. But even so, I'd rather be riding on a charged spoon, which just seemed to fit my physiology and seemed fine. So overall, I'm chuffed to bits. I was gutted that it was so wet and I got the canyon dirty, but I guess it gives me a bit of a project when I get home, i.e. cleaning the bike and making it all shipshape again. And yeah, the overall wash-up, it was a great event, really well organised, good fun to do. It'd been more fun to do it in a group, but yeah, it was good. So thumbs up for the Prudential Ride 100. Thanks, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Slam me a thumbs up if you liked it. Slam me a thumbs down if you think it was crap. And do subscribe, because I have got a few extra ideas for some videos and some more material. So once again, you've been watching Steve Baxter. Thank you very much, and goodbye.